Hello my friends, welcome back to the PipeCat channel. I have a review for you today, one that I've been saving. Let me show you what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. Cornell Diehl, star of the East Flake. Oh yeah. Let me read it to you. Star of the East Flake, 1/2 Cyprian Latakia, with a generous portion of Izmir and sweetened with stoved red Virginia. Well, I'll tell you what. The reason why I've been saving this one is I wanted to make sure that the impression that I got from it was a true impression after repeated smokes. This is probably about my 8th bowl of it, I think, in the past few days. I've been trying to smoke a lot of this and just intersperse in between, you know, a bowl of this, a bowl of that. Earlier today I had a bowl of Grand Croupier Boneyard. Yesterday in between I had some Dunhill Standard Mix and just a few other things in between, but mostly I've been trying to stick to this for a few days, and I want to give you my truest impression of it. The first word that comes to mind about Star of the East Flake for me is its richness. It's a very rich smoke. It's very smoky. It's also a little bit sweet and a little bit spicy. You know, my favorites tend to go in that direction. Smoky, sweet, spicy. Those are the ones I like the most. Of the components of Star of the East Flake, I'm a big fan of Latakia. I've hoarded about as much Syrian Latakia as I could get my hands on, and I have blends with that. But now really all you can get anymore is Cyprian Latakia. And honestly, I don't mind that too much. I like Cyprian Latakia. Cyprian and Syrian are different from each other, probably in, well, the level of intensity doesn't count, because however much they smoked it, one or the other, and I mean cured it with smoke, in other words, however much they cured either one with smoke will determine, you know, how intense the smoky experience is. But the flavor of each one is kind of close. I find one to be maybe a little bit, maybe woodier than the other. I don't know how to put it. Syrian Latakia, to me, has kind of a kind of a leafiness to it. I don't know how else to put it. You can taste the tobacco plant, I think, a little bit more in Syrian Latakia. Cyprian Latakia, I think you taste the process a little bit more, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's a wonderful process. I'm not sure what species they begin with in each one to produce the final product, but this blend here is half Cyprian Latakia. That's a lot of Latakia, and I like it that way. So if you're a Latakia lover, then please, you know, watch on. And if you're not, well, what can I tell you? Look elsewhere. Stoved red Virginia. It's got its own unique flavor. Virginia tobacco tends to be bright, tends to be sweet, but when you stove red Virginias, they tend to become a little bit dark, yet they stay sweet. If anything, I think it kind of brings the sugars out in them a little bit more when they stove them that way. I'm not sure what percentage of this blend is going to be the Virginia, but where 50% of it is the Latakia, and the third component being Turkish, they tend not to use a whole hell of a lot of Turkish in any Turkish mixed blend. They just put enough in for it to, you know, exert itself a little bit. So I'm guessing that this is probably, oh, I don't know, if it's 50% Latakia, it's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe another 30% of stove red Virginia, because I'm guessing they're not going to do more than, you know, 20% of Izmir, maybe if that, you know. So, but the Virginia and the Latakia in this blend, they play very well together. The darkness of the two, they're similar, so they kind of pull you into that zone of smokiness and sweetness that play well together. It's not like a sweetness on top of a smokiness. It's like a sweet smokiness. I love that. Now, Turkish Izmir, or an Oriental, as they might refer to that as. Turkish Izmir is so good that I smoke it by itself quite frequently. Actually, I have a couple of different Turkish Izmirs. One is the mixing Turkish Izmir, which is very true, strictly Turkish Izmir by itself. Not sure how they actually cure that, but I don't think they smoke it in any way. I don't know if they are, I don't know if they're stoving it. It doesn't really have the mixing Turkish Izmir that I smoke tastes very true to the honest leaf that's just been kind of dried out, aged, that kind of thing, maybe compressed, and then shaved into ribbons. The second kind of Turkish Izmir that I have is a blended Turkish Izmir. I'm not really sure what else they put in it. It is a blend, well, they call it Izmir Turkish. I think you can get it at 4 Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember exactly where I got it from. Anyway, it's delicious. And when you apply Turkish Izmir to Latakia and Stove Red Virginia like this, it doesn't take over. It doesn't make it a spice blend. No. It takes a smoky sweet blend and lends a dimension of spice to it. Just enough to give it that little, ooh, that little thing that sets it apart from other blends of this stature. Now, normally I won't compare other blends to a blend like this because it tends to, in case you've tried one and not the other, I don't want to sway you, but in my experience, I find this to be very similar to GLP's Quiet Night, which is my favorite all-time smoking tobacco, period, bar none. That's been my absolute favorite. But there are others that are not too far from it. Another GLP's blend, actually, that is something along that is the Lagonda that I smoke. I like that. Same rough idea, different intensity, different intention. But as far as Star of the East Flake standing out on its own, yes, absolutely. It's its own thing. You could say that it is similar to other blends, but really it's not exactly like any other blend. So this one, when I tried it and gave it a few bowls, it quickly rose to my top 5 anyway. And that's saying something. I got a few that I like very much, and I rarely ever give out an A+ rating, but I'm going to give this one an A+ rating because I find it to be consistent. I find it to be rich and flavorful. It's not probably as intense as Quiet Nights. Now, I've never tried Penzance, but I've heard it compared to it. I don't know. But this is of an intensity that is enough that I would say I wouldn't smoke it all day, every day. No. This is probably a good in for the evening kind of smoke, an after dinner kind of smoke. And when the weather gets cooler, this is going to be a spectacular come in from the cold kind of smoke. And I'm going to probably stop this review right there because I've said everything that I need to say. And to sum up, if you haven't tried Cornell Diehl Star of the East Flake yet, and you are a Latakia lover, get yourself a tin. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy a big tin like this one. Buy a 2-ounce tin or whatever it is, 1.75. I think Cornell Diehl might do it in 2 ounces. I'm not sure. Anyway, get yourself a little tin. Give it a try. I think you'll find, like I did on the first bowl, wow, this stuff is great. But smoke a few bowls anyway. Do a little retro hail here and there, just to get, to get more of the essence of the tobacco. And I'll tell you what, the tin note when you first open this, it's just going to wake you up. But when I first opened this up, curious about it, opened it up, took a whiff out of that tin, I was like, oh, I can't wait. My mouth was watering when I smelled that. So I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm always curious to know what your impression of one of my reviewed tobaccos is. So once you've tried it, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. In the meantime, Thanks again for stopping into the PipeCat channel and listening to me go on and on. It is August 18th of 2018. It is now about 7 p.m. and I'm going to thank you again for stopping by, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take care of yourself.